How to end morning pain. Maybe you know this situation. You lie in bed, eyes open, you've just woken up, and for a brief moment everything feels fine. But then a worried thought comes to your mind. Will the pain come again? Before you know it, worrying increases and bam, the pain comes back. This is one of the hardest things in chronic pain, morning pains, and today we're gonna put an end to it once and for all. I'm gonna teach you a biological hack and then a scientifically proven technique that can help you regain control and reduce morning pain over time gradually. After explaining the technique, I will also show you 2 ways in which you can boost it to make really the most out of it. So make sure to stay until the end. Let's start. Let's start with the biological hack. During the night, our body is immovable, and what happens is that the muscles and ligaments and joints become stiffer, the fluid in our joints become tougher and harder, and there are hormones that tilt or shift the body towards more inflammation. It means that during the night we're more prone to developing pain because of discomfort and a reduced level of metabolism in our muscles and joints. For people without pain, that's not such a big of a problem. They wake up, they move a little, and they go about with their day. But in chronic pain, something else happens. What happens in chronic pain is that your brain becomes overprotective and hypervigilant. It tries to protect you from danger. This also means that normal sensations in the body are going to be interpreted as dangerous signals. Let me explain now what happens in the brain itself. Let's look at this picture. We have 3 different structures that are important for us. This is the biological hack: the amygdala, the ACC, and the prefrontal cortex. The amygdala is the part in your brain that is responsible for fears. The ACC is responsible for the suffering that accompanies pain. For instance, thoughts like, this will ruin my day, my future is going to be ruined, I will never be able to be okay again, and so on and so forth. So that's the part of suffering that's related to pain. And the prefrontal cortex is the rational part. And the thing is that with chronic pain, the amygdala that creates fear and the ACC that creates suffering communicate with each other more strongly and amplify the cycle of fear, suffering, and more pain. At the same time, the prefrontal cortex becomes quieter and has less influence over this circuit. Our goal in healing, our way to healing, is to enhance the activity in the prefrontal cortex in a way that it can regulate and decrease the amount of fear and suffering that the amygdala and the ACC create together. Activating the prefrontal cortex, which is, by the way, located just here under our forehead, is very powerful because it creates a chain reaction that releases powerful painkillers that are stored in our brain. It's also called the brain's pharmacy, and it has very potent chemicals that can really reduce the levels of pain over time. After learning about the 3 most important structures in the brain and understanding what we need to do, let's see how to turn the understanding into practice. But just before that, I want to invite you to download the free starter kit that I've prepared for you with very meaningful resources that can help you on your path to healing chronic pain. It's below this video. What we're going to do now is use this exact knowledge and turn it into a powerful healing technique. The way it is described in the medical literature is pain reappraisal. What we're doing is we reinterpreting pain through the scientific lens. So basically we're harnessing the power of science for our own healing process. I'm going to walk you now through a list of sentences that are based on this knowledge that you can read to yourself in order to activate the prefrontal cortex, reduce the activity of the amygdala and the ACC, and therefore reduce the levels of pain. Let's look at the sentences now. The first sentence is, my brain is hypervigilant and it falsely interprets normal bodily sensations as dangerous. You're reaffirming to yourself that you're knowing what happens. The second sentence, this is a false alarm. You understand and acknowledge that your brain is overestimating or overinterpreting normal signs from the body, normal signals from the body, and you're reaffirming to yourself that this is a false alarm. The third sentence, I am safe. I can relax. Since this is not a true alarm, but an interpretation of the brain, you can reassure yourself, reconnect to a sense of safety, and reconnect to a sense of relaxation. The next sentence, therefore, I can give it less meaning and attention. You reduce the level of attention you give it, and in this way, you're strengthening even more the activation of the prefrontal cortex. And the next sentence, I can continue my day normally. Since there's no danger, you can go about living your life, living your day. Now, if you want to really make the most out of this technique, you can do those two extra things. They will really take it to the next level. One is take those sentences and write them down. Prepare a list on a note or on your smartphone so that you have it at hand whenever you need it in the morning. The second thing is before going to bed, before falling asleep, read those sentences aloud to yourself. What it does is that it primes your nervous system to use the pain reappraisal also when you wake up in the morning. In this way, you wake up, the sentences are already subconsciously with you, and they will be activated to help you if and when the pain comes. And of course, you want this list by your side near your bed so you can use it first thing in the morning after you open your eyes. Here's something I recommend and tell all of my patients. In order to heal from chronic pain, one needs to acquire a set of techniques. One skill is not enough. So if you work on the morning pain, you need to have more techniques and more knowledge to help you mitigate and heal also other parts of the pain experience. One such part is knowing how to manage pain flare-ups. This could be really hard, but if you know how to manage them, you can make them go away faster, reduce their intensity, and over time see how they reduce also in frequency. If you want to learn how to do it, watch this video here.